Hey everybody, one that always bored, never boring. Today I'm continuing my HeroQuest Restoration Project by painting the Orcs. Actually, I'm only going to be painting one Orc. You get 8 of these in the box and you can paint them in a production line, doing them all in one go, and that is normally what I would do, but one of the 8 Orcs has a very big sword and is supposed to be a leader character, so I'm going to paint him separately in this video, and that's also going to help me figure out the colour scheme for the other 7, which I will do later on. I have started by spray undercoating this model with Colour Forge Matte Black, and we're ready to begin. And we are going to start with Army Painter Green Skin. There's a lot of skin on these miniatures, so it makes sense to start with that. Army Painter Green Skin does not cover very well at all, so I'm going to be using 2 coats on this. And we're going all over the face. We're going to go over the arms, the hands, and the legs, making sure we have a really nice smooth finish to work from. And with these Orcs, getting the skin right is half the battle really. When that's completely dry, I'm moving on to an Athonian Camo Shade wash. This is going to enhance the green of the skin. It's also going to provide the recess shading. It's going to darken the green down in preparation for some highlights we're going to do afterwards. And to do those highlights, we're going back to green skin, and I'm switching to a thinner brush, and I'm just going to apply the green skin to the raised details, so the tops of the head, the ears, the lips, the fronts of the hands, the knuckles, the knees. And that's just going to brighten those colours back up, and it's going to make the details pop just a little bit more. And I think it's worth taking the little bit of extra effort to get the skin just right on these, because it's such a prominent feature. With that finished, I'm switching to MEPHISTON Red, and I'm going to paint the tunic with red. This is because I'm painting the leader character. All of my other Orcs are going to have variations of a dark brown tunic. But this is the boss, he wants to look a bit fancy, so I've gone for a bright red, and I'm going to make this quite a vibrant tunic. He's a flash git. MEPHISTON Red does cover really well over black, but you may still need 2 coats. I'm then switching to Steel Legion Drab, and I'm just going to paint his boots with that. I thought red boots with the red tunic was just a little bit too flash. So 2 thin coats on those feet. And then I'm also going to put it on the handle of the sword. And then I'm switching to a red tone, and I'm going to do a wash over the whole tunic. If you prefer, you can use something like AGRAX RTHSHADE. If you do that, you'll get a darker, muddier finish, but it doesn't matter quite so much if the AGRAX goes onto the skin areas you've already painted, but I thought a red tone would give a little bit of extra vibrancy to this tunic. But I do have to be careful I do not get it on the skin. And then afterwards I'm going back to my MEPHISTON Red, and I'm going to use a thin brush, and I'm going to highlight the raised areas again. Just to bring out the details, emphasise the recess shading from the wash. And then I'm going to add a little bit of Evil Sun Scarlet to the MEPHISTON Red and do a second highlight, just to really make the details pop and make our Orc leader look super flashy. In a moment we will be painting the metallic areas of the miniature, and so I don't have to keep cleaning out my water, I'm going to do any other areas that don't require a metallic paint first. So I'm switching to Pallid Witch Flesh here, and I'm just going to paint in the tusks. I'm using a fine detail brush to make sure I don't go over any of the skin. And then I'm switching to ABADDON Black. I'm adding a little bit of Lamian Medium to this black, and I'm just going to mark in the eyes under those deep brows. And then I'm going back to Pallid Witch Flesh. I'm thinning it ever so slightly. I'm using my thin brush, and I'm just putting a single small dot on the outside of the black areas that we've painted. And that is the facial features finished really. It's time to move on to the metal. Of course we have Lead Belcher. Lead Belcher will be for the chainmail, and I'm also going to use it on the blade of the sword. And at this point I should mention I'm not doing a really complicated paint job here. I'm going for a clean, bright, nice looking finish. I have got 8 of these to paint after all. I don't want to spend too much time on it. Of course, Nuln Oil is going to be applied to those metallic areas. That's going to do the recess shading again. It's going to grubby up the armour, make it look a little bit used and old. So that will go on the chainmail and the blade of the sword. And then I'm switching to one of my favourites, Balthasar Gold. I'm going to use this on the belt and the belt buckle. I'm going to then use it on the hilt of the sword, and I'm going to use it on his armband. My other orcs are going to have silver armbands, but this gold armband is just going to make our leader stand out just a little bit more. He is the boss, he should have the best jewellery after all. And with Balthasar Gold, one thin coat should be enough. And then, boom goes the AGRAX. You knew it was going to happen eventually, I knew it was going to happen eventually. AGRAX goes over all of the brown and all of the gold. That's going to give the gold a nice sort of coppery finish. It's going to bring out all of the recess shading on the feet. And it's actually going to finish this paint job. Once this wash is dry, I am calling this model done. There is of course more you can do. You can go back and highlight the boots. You can go back with Balthasar Gold and do a highlight on the belt buckles and the armbands. You can do an edge highlight with lead belcher on the sword blade, but I think I'm done with this. I'm happy with that. Of course I do still need to paint the base, but I'm not going to do that in this particular video. I have a separate video on my channel where I go through the stages of painting the bases to look like flagstones, so you can check that video out if you are interested. But that is it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I will see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone. Bye bye.